Hi, Jason Munoz here for Yakima MTG with me, Geoff Hamasaki.
Hello, what's going on?
Round 1 of Friday Night Magic at Ron's Coin and Collectibles, playing Legacy. On the left, Daniel Longoria playing Shardless Sultai, and on the right, Chris Witt playing Dredge. So, this is going to be interesting because you and I are not Legacy guys.
No. I don't even know if I've ever played Legacy.
This was my second time playing Legacy, so it's a really fun format, just a lot of weird card interactions. So let's see if we can keep up. I think Daniel's deck is pretty straightforward for the most part. I mean, it plays creatures and attacks. Chris's deck is a lot different than that. So let's see what we can do. And
So Daniel's trying to do fair things for the most part, and Chris is just trying to do something unfair.
yeah, I'm not even sure what card he just discarded there. We'll try to keep up, but a lot of cards I'm not familiar with.
It's a black card with a long name. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's a creature though. It's got a power and toughness.
Yeah. All right, and so Daniel plays Tarmogoyf, which against Dredge is going to be a pretty big creature. All right, so just discarded basically his whole hand. There's a Street Wraith. Was that a Stinkweed Imp?
He's discarded or he dredged.
No, so he did something in his upkeep, and then he dredged for his turn, which he just did there.
Okay.
So I think he dredged 5 with the Stinkweed Imp.
Okay, and then he drew, and then he's doing.
Well, you don't draw. You just take the.
He put a card in his hand.
Yeah, I think there's cards. I mean, we sound like. There's cards that interact when they hit the graveyard. So, like Narcomoeba, when it's put in your graveyard from the library, you just put it on the battlefield. So,
right.
It's a 1/1 flyer. There's the Shardless Agent from Daniel.
Okay, so it's going to cascade.
Yeah. Into a Deathrite Shaman.
All right.
So, like, his deck just seems normal and fair, you know?
You're right.
He's got creatures, he's going to attack with the Tarmogoyf. The Goyf is huge.
And it seems to me like the Deathrite is pretty good because he can, exile in response to trying to reanimate a big creature or something like that.
Sure. Okay, so you see Chris just got some zombies from when his creature died. That's because he has Bridge from Below in his graveyard. It looks like he has 2 Bridge from Belows.
Okay.
So when that creature dies, you get to put a 2/2 zombie into play.
Okay, and since he's got 2, he gets 2 zombies.
Yeah.
Or two Bridge from Below in his graveyard.
Yep. And that card, I should have made Chris give us a deck list because I'm trying to keep up, with what he's trying to do, and I have no idea what he's trying to do. All right, exiled something. Looks like he tried to do something, and then Daniel forced it. And since there's looks to be 4 Bridge from Belows now. Because he just got 4 more 2/2 zombies. So Bridge from Below does a lot of work.
Right, if you can get it into your graveyard early and then start, and then get other creatures out.
Yeah.
But if Daniel can make one of his creatures die, it'll exile the bridges from the graveyard.
Yeah. And if he's got all 4 of them out, then that's one win combination that looks like Chris would be without. Always got others. Like I know he plays Flair the Hate Hound. I know he plays Grizzlebrand. I just don't know if they're in his opening 60 or in his 75. All right, so Tarmogoyf is a 6/6 or 6/7.
It actually isn't that great against all those
2/2s. Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing Chris doesn't really, he puts those out there so he can buy time to do something super nasty.
So Chris is basically just going to win in with one shot.
Yeah, or maybe one or two big attacks.
He's not trying to do fair things.
So Daniel's gonna abrupt decay his dude to exile the bridge from below.
Yeah, all four bridge belows are gone.
It's like some pretty big damage has been done already, though.
Yeah, I mean, look up. There's a ton of zombies.
Yeah, and does Daniel have anything left in his hand? Looks like he exiled one from force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got nothing.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard game for Daniel to win here, I think.
Yeah.
Just because
Chris has 10 tokens right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
There's a Dread return so he can flash it back. I don't know if he's got something he wants to flash back right now. Seems like he can just win with a couple attacks though.
Yeah. All right, so he got back the Icarid. Let's see what he does here. Or is he going to sacrifice some creatures? Yeah, so he's going to sacrifice 3 creatures for Dread return. Yeah. And what's he going to bring back? I like that he plays his graveyard in front so that we can see everything. Right. So he got back Grizzlebrand.
Okay.
So there's Grizzlebrand out there. And it looks like he's attacking with 7 of the 2/2s. So he eats a Faithless Looting. And then blocks 2. So the Shaman goes down.
Takes
2
8.
Yeah, one of I think he takes 10 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah,
because one of the tokens died. Yep.
Yeah, and Chris took 2 life from the Shaman.
Uh-oh.
So he's in trouble.
I don't really know what Daniel can
do
at this point, unless he's got I don't know. He needs a sweeper or something.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Because Shardless doesn't play any combos where you can just win the game, can't?
So I think what Chris is doing here is he's drawing 7 off of Grizzlebrand.
Okay.
But so for each draw, instead of drawing the cards, he's dredging a bunch.
Okay.
And then it looks like he just drew 4 more because he's at 11 life now. Man, Grizzlebrand is so good.
It's banned in Modern.
Yeah, first pick in Legacy Cube, which is coming up soon. Taking that card like crazy. And he's got a grip of cards. And I still think it's his turn. Alright, looks like he's moving to discard. No. This deck is insane. It's like, I mean, if you watch Daniel, he's just sitting there. Alright, so Chris just paid another 7 life, so.
Jeez.
So it's gonna dredge some more. When you look at his deck, it's pretty thin.
He might have about 10 cards left, maybe.
He got 4 cards.
So
he's got everything. And there's lands.
What did he do? He just picked up his library.
Well, I think he drew the rest with Grizzlebrand. So, like, the first 3 you dredge, and then the last 4 you draw.
Sure.
Then he plays Landside Diamond, discards his entire hand. His whole thing's in the graveyard. It looks like he just played Dread Return, Flare the Hatebound. And
so anytime a creature comes back from the graveyard, it does damage to Daniel.
Yeah,
and he's dead.
So the Flare does it, and then he does it with Golgari Grave Troll. So, and that enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each creature in your graveyard. So everything was in his graveyard. So one and done. I wasn't able to keep up with everything, but I basically understood what he was doing.
I don't even know if this is considered Magic or not. I mean, there's no lands. He attacked 1 time.
Yeah.
Somehow Grizzlebrand was in play. I don't know.
It's exactly what Richard Garfield was thinking when he came up with Magic all those years ago.
This whole deck was in the graveyard.
Yeah. And he won. It's insane. There's one card that Daniel has that will just wreck Chris's deck, and that's Graph Digger's Cage.
Okay.
It's basically what Blood Moon does to Amulet Bloom in Modern.
Right. Because without a graveyard, Chris just can't play anything.
Yeah.
There's no mana unless he plays Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah,
but then you can't flash anything back. It doesn't matter. So.
Yeah, you just can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think Daniel's going to get rid of all those cards that don't really interact with Chris's. Basically, any piece of removal doesn't really do anything. I guess you just try to attack him quickly, or try to get Graph Digger's Cage in. As far as Chris goes, I mean, I couldn't even begin to tell you what he sideboards in and out. All right, so there's Pithing Needles. Looks like he brought in another Force, Scavenging Ooze, and a couple of Graph Digger's Cages. Looks like he's bringing some Ancestral Visions in as well.
Man, I love that card.
Yeah. It's nice when you can cascade into it as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They should unban it in Modern.
Yeah, right.
And Treasure Cruise.
Sure. Treasure Cruise is banned in Legacy, man.
It's not even that good. It's 7 mana, man.
It's 8.
Or 8. Is it 8?
Yeah. It's 7 or 8. It's 7 in blue.
7 in blue, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's only banned in Legacy.
Like immediately.
Yeah. It's crazy how uninteractive these decks are. Shardless Sultai is just going to play some creatures and do some very magic stuff. And then Chris is just going to put stuff into the graveyard. It's I know Dredge is popular. I don't know how consistently it wins. I feel like after sideboard, it's just, there's just so much sideboard hate for graveyard stuff that if anybody comes prepared for it, you're just in trouble. Like Rest in Peace ruins you, and Graph Digger's Cage ruins you. And
yeah.
There's a bunch of other stuff. With Chris, he can get so much stuff in the graveyard so quickly.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff gets around counterspells too, because it just triggers off of stuff that Daniel can't interact with.
Right. All right, so Daniel will be on the play here. And the question is, how hard do you mulligan for a Grafdigger's Cage?
Just all the way down.
Yeah.
He just has one?
I think he's got two.
Two, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, let's see if we see his hand. Land, Abrupt Decay. Is that a cage there?
So if he plays a cage, Chris just scoops, right? I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah. Alright, so I can't remember that card. It's like the Chancellor or something. What that does is you show it the first card that Daniel plays cost 1 extra or gets countered. Okay. And since he had 2, whatever Daniel's first play is, it's going to cost two extras. So he does. It looks like he does have the Grafdigger's Cage in his hand.
So he can just play something to get rid of those triggers, right? Like
yeah,
just play it into the counters. Who cares?
Play it, get countered, and then play something else. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So Chris is going to attempt to go off. And let's see what Daniel does. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what card Chris is playing to get all those cards into his graveyard so quickly. I can understand that there's a stinkweed imp which allows him to dredge.
Sure, but he needs to get it into the graveyard first.
Right. So I was playing something to get it into the graveyard. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Because it has to be free as well. Because he's got 0 mana. But here's the thing. Once Daniel lands that Grafdigger's Cage, I don't know if there's anything that Chris can do. Alright, so Daniel fetches, goes to 19. Chris is at 16. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. We're gonna have to bring somebody in that knows this thing. All right, so there's a fetch.
So the Grafdigger's Cage only says cards can't enter the battlefield from the graveyard.
Yeah, and
he can't cast cards. But if he's got the Bridge from Below in the graveyard and a creature, it still the Grafdigger's Cage doesn't do anything about that.
Right, but the only way to get creatures onto the battlefield is from the graveyard.
Right, but if he can get a creature out early before Daniel can get the
right,
the Grafdigger's Cage, then he's
right.
not locked out. He can still go off. Looks like Chris is scooping it up.
Yeah, there it is, the 1-card combo. So I don't really even know what to say about this Dredge deck. It's insane. I haven't actually had to play Chris against it. Going into Legacy, I knew that Chris is playing Dredge, so I had my Grafdigger's Cages in my sideboard to play against him. But
there's not much you can do, right? It's just either he wins or he doesn't. I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Either he gets the right cards that he needs and he just goes off, or
yeah. I wonder. I bet he has a high win percentage game 1.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because nobody's going to sideboard. Nobody's going to have Graveyard Hate in their main 60. So
sure. You seem having a rough matchup against like a burn deck.
Yeah, because the burn deck could go really fast. I mean, even like a Splinter Twin or Affinity could beat. Well, I guess.
Sure.
I don't even know if there's twin decks in Legacy.
I don't know. I mean, I think there are quite a few decks that can just combo win in a couple turns,
right?
Or just lock you out,
right? I wonder what like Death and Taxes is against it. Probably not great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like, I mean, it's just so uninteractive. It's just sort of like play my stuff, you play your stuff, and see who gets there the quickest, right? And there's no,
like it.
It's not like there's attacking and blocking. It's not even a real big counter war. Like force of will and things like that don't even do that much. All right, Chris is going to 6. I see a reasonable hand in Daniel's hand, but no Graph Digger's Cage, so he's going to go to 6 as well. So it's almost like Daniel's not even playing Magic either. It's like he's just hoping to draw a card. You know,
right.
He's got
because he doesn't have any big combos that he can go off.
Yeah,
with.
his deck is pretty fair for the most part. You know, attack you with creatures. You know, they're insanely valuable creatures. But all right, Chris keeps his 6. Let's see what Daniel does. Land. I think looks like a 5 land and Shardless Agent.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's a pretty bad hand. And with Chris, I'm not sure how what is even a mulligan, like what makes you mulligan. I guess something.
You can't get anything in the graveyard right away.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to discard. So Daniel will go down to 5 here. Be interesting when the new mulligan rule goes into effect, because I really think it. I think it will happen.
Sure.
I think after the Pro Tour, people are gonna find that it's good. And
yeah, I don't think either of Daniel's hands he would have kept. I mean, I don't think he changed any of his decisions.
No, not at all.
I think if you draw like a land light hands, you might be more willing to keep if you get the scry. But
yeah,
with having a hand full of land, it's not. It doesn't change it much.
So Brainstorm is a card that's pretty good here for Daniel as well if he doesn't get the Graphic Digger's Cage, because it just allows you to dig.
Sure.
A bunch. All right, Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse, Shardless Agent.
No land?
Yeah, I didn't see a land.
I mean, he's on the play. If he can just go turn 1, land, cage.
Yeah, I think the game is over.
I mean, at this point, going down to 4.
Well, each of his hands I think his opening 7 was the most reasonable.
Right, but what do you keep at this point? If you don't see a cage here, do you just go down to 3? I don't know.
Depends on what's in his hand. All right, so there's a Force, an Agent, a land, and a Brainstorm. Of course, he can't cast any of that stuff because he has a black-green land.
Well, he can cast like Force, but I don't really know what you're countering this early.
I think, man, if he had a blue mana source, I think you keep it.
Yeah,
with the Brainstorm.
Can you go to 3 just out of desperation? Just the only chance I have to win is if I draw the cage. I
guess so. It's tough.
I mean, he can't win this game just normally, right? Like with
yeah, he can't strategy. You can't play Shardless Agent and hope to get there. I think you keep this hand.
Do you know how many lands he runs?
It's probably like 20.
So you can't really expect to get 2 lands off of a 4,
yeah.
3
right,
hand.
Yeah, he is going to keep it. All right, Chris draws, passes. Oh, there you go. Hit the land. So now you can at least cast your Brainstorm and start digging and just hope to get there,
Right.
So he's got 4 cards in hand, or 3 cards now. So a total of 6 cards out of his 60. So there's just 54 cards left. 2 of them are Graph Digger's Cages. There's a Brainstorm, another Brainstorm, Wasteland, a couple lands. Just keep on digging. All right, put 2 of the 3 that you drew back on top.
So Chris has the Lion's Eye Diamond. He didn't play it turn 1. Do you think that's just to play around the force?
Force, maybe. All right, Lane is the draw.
So he's got another brainstorm coming.
So you could shuffle away the top one, which is a land.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then brainstorm from there.
Double check, make sure the Graph Digger's Cage is still in.
Yeah. And then just hope. Hope you draw it. Alright, so in Chris's graveyard is Golgari Thug. It's just a 1/1 that when it dies, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, and it has Dredge 4. So the Dredge 4 is the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go brainstorming. Let's take a look at another 3. Force, Goyf, Wasteland. So puts back the Wasteland, that's fine, then probably the Agent, or because you could play the Goyf here. And at least attempt to put pressure on Chris.
Yeah, well, I mean, what else are you going to do? There's nothing else.
All right, so there's
You're not just going to hold it.
Yeah, he dredges 4.
The problem is the next 2 draws are not going to help at all.
Yeah. All right, so there's the force on the Lion's Eye Diamond as well.
He can get the Shardless Agent, try to cascade into an Ancestral Vision,
and then draw it.
Or the Cage, I guess, either one.
Yeah. All right, so there's a cast.
So here we go.
Wasteland.
Man, this is like a slot machine.
Maelstrom Bowls. Death
Trap.
It's almost like if you're Daniel, you take out all your one drop spells.
yeah.
Except for the cages, so that you can just agent into it.
Just take out all
your
glyphs,
1s and 2s.
All the glyphs, all the shamans.
All right, in for 4 for the glyph.
You can keep Vision in. That's
yeah. Vision is totally fine. All right, so we're gonna dredge some more. Laboratory Maniac, huh?
Okay, it's another win condition.
Yep,
I like that.
No bridge from belows or anything, or even creatures. All right, so it looks like Chris had a discard, and Grave Troll goes into the bin. Dana's gonna try to play Flare Magic. So he drew. I didn't see what he drew.
I did not either. Probably a land.
Yeah.
So he's trying to. So it looks like he's checking out the graveyard, trying to decide what he wants to exile.
Yeah. All right. So there's a
get
creature.
Rid of Grave Troll, so he can't dredge with that one next turn.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple other dredgers though. So you can attack for 6 here and put Chris down to 10. Just gotta keep, I guess, give Chris as few turns as he can, because he hasn't really hit anything in his graveyard yet.
Sure, I mean, I mean, I don't really know what he's thinking about, right? Like,
yeah.
Is there any reason not to attack? Does he have some way of getting instant speed creatures?
Or I don't think so.
Is he trying to figure out the power of Tarmogoyf?
Yeah, I think he's just making sure he's playing around any shenanigans that Chris says. Okay, and they were checking. Looks like they were checking Goyf's power as well.
Okay, so it's a 5/6 right now.
So that's 7. So that's going to put Chris down to 9.
Okay.
That's a 1-turn clock, because with the Deathrite Shaman, that's 9. So Chris either needs a blocker or needs to win here. And looks like he's got the Icarids.
Okay.
But those get sacrificed at the end of the turn. So they can't really block.
Yeah, so if he can hit bridges.
All right, there's the bridge.
All right.
The last card was the bridge.
So he'll have he'll have, 3 blockers next turn?
Yeah. All right, in for 6 from Chris. Puts Dan into 13. Wow, that bridge was the last card.
Yeah.
That was big. I'm not sure what the Kenny card is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. There's a weird border on it.
Is it just another Stinkweed? Or Icarus?
I don't think so.
Because he didn't attack with it.
I don't know.
Alright, so he exiled the Street Race, looks like, to get it back. And Chris moves to discard. So he bought himself another turn, at least.
So if Daniel didn't exile the Grave Troll and exiled the... Oh, he can't exile an enchantment.
Yeah.
Has to be a creature.
Creature, yeah.
Okay.
Or land.
Yeah, right.
Another card banned in Modern isn't Deathrite banned in Modern?
Yeah. All these are Dread Return is.
Yeah.
Ancestral Vision.
Alright,
let's just print Brainstorm and Standard again.
Yeah. They don't even want Lightning Bolt or Birds of Paradise.
But there is Time Twister.
Oh, he just hit Gravedigger's Cage.
Okay. Does that do anything, though?
Well, so he has to attack, right?
Okay.
He attacks with both. Chris has to block. So when he blocks the Shardless Agent, it dies. The other bridge from below... the bridge from below that's in there is gone. I really wish I knew what that Kenny card was. I can't see what it is. The altered card?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's a creature. It doesn't look like it's a creature.
Well, it's got that weird border on it, so it might be covering the...
Yeah, it's true.
Or obscuring the power toughness.
Alright, so if he attacks with everything, Chris has to block. The Shardless Agent dies. The bridge from below goes away.
Wait, does he have to block the agent, though?
I guess not. It takes 6, and then 2 from the Shaman is 8.
Well, you can block the Tarmogoyf, right?
Yeah, so you block...
Take 2.
And just hope you hit some more creatures, I guess, from the bridge from below. Alright, so... That was a creature. Don't know what it is, but it blocked... Chris goes down to 7. So it blocked the Tarmogoyf.
Okay, so the agent stays alive, the bridge from below stays in the graveyard. So he can't reanimate anything. He can't flash anything back.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lion's Eye Diamonds are basically worthless.
Yeah.
He can't cast Grizzlebrand.
So he just draws a card. Would he still be able to dredge?
I think so. It's not targeting. I mean, it's not putting creatures into play.
So Gravedigger's Cage says
it's not
creature
casting
cards
anything.
can't enter the battlefield from garage or libraries. Players can't cast cards. Players.
Yeah, so you just can't flashback and you can't reanimate.
Okay. All right. So Chris is attacking now.
Okay. Gonna block, activate, Death Right, Xylene. Is it a Cabal Therapy?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay, so Chris goes to 5. Bridge from Below is gone. And then... Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Doesn't seem like Chris has any way of getting more creatures out.
Yeah.
He could. Well, yeah, and then the Lion's Eye Diamond doesn't do anything without having the flashback available.
I feel like you could still dredge though, right?
Sure, but it doesn't do anything, right?
Well, trying to hit some more bridges. Oh, I guess, but then you can't get creatures.
You can't get any more creatures, yeah. Well, that's it. The cage.